So, most of us are pretty familiar with that epic 7-day creation story in Genesis, right? But what if I told you that the second it's over, the Bible hits us with a second, totally different story? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. The other creation account, the one tucked away in Genesis chapter 2. Okay, so first, a super quick recap of chapter 1. It's huge, it's cosmic, it's this grand, sweeping narrative. Over 6 days, God speaks everything into existence, all very neat and orderly. You know the drill. Light, sky, land, sun and moon, sea creatures, land animals, and then, at the very peak of it all, humankind, male and female, created together. And on day 7, God rests. It's the ultimate panoramic view. But here's the thing. The moment that majestic story wraps up, the whole narrative just resets. The camera lens zooms way, way in, the tone completely shifts, and we get a second and really profoundly different story of how it all began. Yeah, this second story, starting right in Genesis chapter 2, it's not a simple retelling. It's a completely different perspective. We go from the massive, universal scale of the heavens and the earth to something incredibly personal, almost small scale and totally human-focused. And when you look closely, the differences are just striking. I mean, in chapter 1, the creator is just called God. But here in chapter 2, the more personal covenant name, Jehovah God, is used. And the creation order, it's flipped. In chapter 1, it goes plants, animals, then man. But in chapter 2, it's man first, then the plants in the garden, and then the animals. The scope also shrinks like crazy from the entire universe down to this one specific spot, the Garden of Eden. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. Why? Why would you put two distinct and, let's be honest, in some ways contradictory stories right next to each other? Well, the answer seems to be that they have different goals. If chapter 1 gives us the what of creation, chapter 2 is all about the why of our place in it. And that why doesn't start with a big booming command from the heavens. No, it begins with this act of incredible intimacy, focusing right in on the creation of the first man and the job he was immediately given. I mean, listen to that verse. It's a universe away from the let there be of chapter 1. This is hands-on. The image here is like a potter shaping clay. The creator literally forms man from the dust and then, in this deeply personal moment, breathes life directly into him. Man doesn't just pop into existence. He's crafted, he's animated. And this 3-step process is just so important. You have the formation from the earth, then the divine inbreathing of life, and the result, a living soul. Right from the get-go, this story establishes that humanity has this dual nature. We're made of the earth, but we're animated by something divine. So where is this newly made man placed? Not just out in some vast, empty world. Nope, he's put in a specially prepared place, the Garden of Eden. It's described as beautiful, full of food, but with 2 very specific, very symbolic trees right in the middle, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And man isn't just put in this garden to lounge around. He's given a purpose, a job description right from the start. His role is to dress it and to keep it, which really means to cultivate it, to care for it, to be a steward. So in this story, work isn't a curse. It's humanity's original dignifying job. Okay, so he's got a home, he's got a purpose, and now the story introduces another crucial element, the very first law. The one and only prohibition in this entire perfect world. The instruction is incredibly clear, so direct. Everything in the garden is yours, except for this one tree. And the consequence for breaking that rule is laid out with absolute gravity. Thou shalt surely die. This single rule introduces choice, boundaries, and consequences into the human story for the very first time. But even here, in this paradise, with a divine job and clear rules, something is still missing. For the very first time in either of the creation stories, the narrator says that something is not good. It is not good that the man should be alone. Wow, what a pivotal statement. It basically says that we were not designed for solitude, and the solution that's proposed is a helpmeet, which is a fascinating term. It doesn't mean a servant, but a corresponding partner, a counterpart who fits, who complements him perfectly. So what happens next is really interesting. God forms all the animals and brings them to the man.
The man's job is to name them, which shows his intelligence, his authority. But this whole parade of animals has another purpose. It just highlights how unique he is. As he names every single one, it becomes painfully obvious that none of them, not a single one, is his true counterpart. The search among the animals is a bust.
The solution, then, had to come from the man himself. In what sounds like a kind of divine surgery, God puts the man into a deep sleep, takes a rib from his side, and from that very substance, he builds the woman. It's such a powerful way to show their shared nature, their profound connection.
And the man's response when he wakes up? It's not just surprise. It's this burst of poetry, of recognition. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. He gets it instantly. She is his perfect counterpart, made from his own being. His loneliness is finally over.
So, as chapter 2 comes to a close, it leaves us with this complete picture, a kind of original blueprint for what humanity was supposed to be before everything went wrong. It lays out the core pieces of human existence as the story intended them. So what does this world look like? Well, it's defined by purpose, right? Purpose through work. It establishes that companionship is absolutely essential. It gives us the foundation for marriage, this union so deep they become one flesh. And finally, it's a world of total innocence, this state of being naked and not ashamed, which really just means there's no guilt, no fear, no separation from each other or from their creator.
You see, unlike the massive scale of Genesis 1, this second story is a personal, intimate portrait. It's a story of dust and divinity, of purpose and partnership, of rules and relationships. It really sets the stage for the whole drama of human choice that's about to unfold in the very next chapter. So the question it leaves us with is this. What does this incredibly intimate story of our origins really say about the fundamental nature of humanity?